First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Bombshell, Scott McNamara's not,
Not really a bombshell.
But before we dive into this, I just want to say, Oneida County DA Scott McNamara in studio, I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'll be 60 this year.
You'll be 60 years old this year. I mean, pepper, just a sprinkle of gray. You haven't lost one strand of hair off that head. What the heck's going on here? Did you meet Dr. Branson 10 years before I did? What happened?
It's sickening is what it is.
It's ridiculous.
It's just luck.
You look like you're in your early 40s,
well,
man.
I appreciate that. But I'm not. You and I are about the same age, right, Bill?
I am 56.
Yeah, you're a little bit younger than me, but yeah.
But don't look it, apparently. And that just feels so good.
Okay,
but no, it's not really a bombshell. Maybe to you guys.
Let's just say you're not running for re-election.
I have 2.5 years left on my term. And so when I ran last time, which was 2019, it was that election cycle, I told all the people close to me that this was my last term as DA. For a couple of reasons. Obviously, the people close to your family and your friends,
sure.
You want to let them know. But I also had to let my office know. I have 47 people that work for me. That they have to make lifetime decisions, and they need to know what my plans are. So it's never been a secret. Everybody that's close to me knows. So it just happened to come out yesterday in a conversation, and then all of a sudden I'm getting all these calls, and it's like, well, what is going on? I mean, all I was saying was, in 2.5 years, I'm not going to run for DA again. I'll be 62 years old. My wife and I would like to go to Florida in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Can't do that when you're DA.
Right.
I've got 2 granddaughters. I'd like to spend more time with my family. And really, the number one thing is, the DA job is a hard job, and I'm not whining about that. I'm blessed, and I thank the people that are listening. I thank everybody that's voted for me and given me the opportunity to have this job for the last 14 and a half years. I've been in the DA's office for 29 years. I've been blessed, but it's a hard job, and it's a very contentious job. You're always fighting with lawyers. I mean, you guys see a little bit of that when there's a case, and then the defense attorney comes on, and I come on.
Being a lawyer, I see.
Yes, you do. But the underlying thing of what we do is just a lot of negative stuff that humans do to other humans, whether it's kill each other, assault each other, sexually molest each other.
You've seen it in the last couple of years.
It's terrible, and yeah, it is. And I mean, you look at stuff like Bianca's case; those cases run their toll on you, and you're always worrying you're going to make sure you can get justice. But at the same time, you try to put in the back of your head what you see, and you don't forget Bianca's homicide. You don't forget the Bumble crime scene, and it's 62 years old. Maybe there's something a little bit easier to do and less stressful. So maybe I'll be a talk show host.
I gotta tell you.
So you're not going to run for Congress?
I'm not. See, that's a whole thing. It's like,
where did that come from?
I can tell you where that came from. Apparently, John Zogby was on the television and mentioned my name.
Okay.
So let me just clear something up about Congress. I have not done anything to run for Congress. And so and I watch on the internet. It's kind of funny when you see your name pop up and people are saying crazy things about you.
Filed paperwork.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. There is no paperwork filed. So when you're going to run for something, you have to file paperwork. I never filed paperwork. I never talked to John Zogby. I haven't done a poll. I haven't done anything like that. That's not something that really is interesting to me, but I would say this. Why close the door to it?
Right.
I don't know what a year from now would hold.
There is a reporter in Binghamton who found a trademark, Scott McNamara for Congress.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Not
and
true.
the .com.
It's not true. Don't even kid like that.
The gavel logo. And,
the logo.
No, that's not accurate. I don't have any plans right now. I mean, obviously, there's certain things that I would find interesting. And, we were joking before we went on the air, being a DJ for WOUR. Yes, absolutely. Your sister station here.
You've driven down the road and you've been 96.9 WOUR. You've done it. I know you've done
100 times.
Yeah.
Rockin' Central New York. WOUR.
There we go. There it is.
That's the audition right there. That was actually pretty good, too, by the way.
That was good. Yeah.
You
sounded a little like Peter Hirsch there.
And my good friend, Dr. Rock, Jerry Krause.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's very good. Very, very good. So with all of this, I think it puts pressure on you for the next 2 years. It's like, okay, now I am finishing out. It's out there now.
Yeah,
I'm no surmising anymore. This is what you're going to do.
It does, and to be honest with you, I guess in a way, I look at that as a good thing because there's certain things that I want to tighten up in the office. There's certain things that and I tell people I don't want to go out on a bad note. There's certain, like one of the things I've been working very hard at is trying to get our records in a digital format so that they're more accessible to the public. There's a couple things I would like to see take place in the investigative world. I really would like to see us move forward on having a centralized forensic investigative unit countywide. I think that would be good. So there's certain things I really would like to push forward and try to see happen before I leave. But the most important thing is to make sure that the people that are in my office, I got good people, and right now I do. I have phenomenal people in my office, and everyone always asks me, "Did you pick a successor?" I don't think it's my job to pick a successor. I hope my successor comes from my office.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's just like if I showed up here tomorrow as a station manager, you guys would all be going, "What's this clown doing here? What's he know about radio?"
Right.
And it's the same thing with the DA's office. If somebody comes from the outside that's never been a prosecutor, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to get politics involved where they shouldn't be. And in my office, I don't have to worry about that. All the people that work for me. So, I would hope it would be somebody from my office. I think it would be better for the community that way. But I think it's up to the public to pick that person.
Yeah. Are there any things that on you just mentioned things that you'd like to do, initiatives, but are there any cases out there, any issues that you wish you could crack something? You wish there's a solving of a case out there that cases that come to your mind?
Kim Simons.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Kim Simon.
Yeah.
I wish we could bring that to a conclusion. Realistically, as I sat here right now, I don't see that happening. But that would be something that I would like to be able to, that would mean something to be able to give this community, her family closure. I don't see that happening. It's a very difficult case, but that's probably the one that sticks out the most.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, and I don't know what you can actually say, but I'm under the impression you know who the killer is, but for various reasons you actually can't say.
I wouldn't say I know who the killer is because I don't know who the killer is. I suspect certain people, but that doesn't get a grand jury indictment.
Sure.
And that's one. Two, the evidence that we have to support that is not strong enough to uphold a conviction. So I have a theory that I believe is kind of what happened, but I can't say that because if there is some day that we ultimately develop the evidence that we need, I can't be out there already, accusing people or whatever. But, one of the things we have in that case, and I recently received information just the other day that might be beneficial, is we have a slide that contains semen that was collected from the autopsy, and that's one thing that we haven't tried to open that one because the other ones got destroyed when we tried. So we do have a new lead on maybe a lab that can get that open, because if they can get that open with the technology we have today with DNA, they can identify, and we're being told that they're in that slide that the semen does contain semen, and semen would actually be able to give us the DNA profile.
Wow.
So that exists. So that's why I'm very cautious. I mean, that's the home run we need.
Sure.
And, at this point in time, we're just constantly trying to protect that and make sure we don't do anything to damage it, but find a lab that could ultimately get that open.
Again, I don't know if you can answer this. Let's say that's opened up and you can match DNA. Would there be an arrest?
Well,
based on your theory?
Depends. It depends. I mean, obviously, one of the people that we think's involved is since died. The question is, who raped her?
Right.
That's the question.
Right.
That's the question. I mean, but the theory I have, one of the people that is involved is no longer alive, but I'm not sure who raped her, and that's where the complexity of the prosecution lies, is being able to put people around the vicinity of her dead body after it was dead. We might be able to do, but proving who actually, because here's the thing, you have to be able to prove the person that did the rape, and being able to figure out how it died is a little bit more complicated if we could ever figure that out. Obviously from the trial that took place years ago, we know that she was struck in the face. I mean, she has a serious injury to her face that's consistent with being punched by someone that was wearing a ring. But the puncher doesn't necessarily make that person the raper, but they could all be accomplices. So it's a very complicated case.
And that's the one that keeps you up at night.
Yeah. That's because Stephen Barnes served 19 years for it, and it's been, whether I wanted it to be or not, it's been the centerpiece of my career. I've done a lot of things in the DA's office as a direct result of that case to better the office, and things that I'm proud of. I don't like to brag about because that's just not my way, but there's certain things in the office that I've done as a result of that case to try to make our office better, but also the system better. So we videotape confessions. Now the state mandates that. I did that long before the state mandated it. We do specialized identification procedures where they have to file a checklist. I was way out in front of that. The state then adopted those. Open file discovery. Here it is. You have everything. We did that long before. Now, with discovery reform, now that's part of the law. I also created a conviction integrity unit. I was one of the first in the country to do that because I always felt that Stephen Barnes should have been able to come to the DA's office, not physically, but in letter or by call by a family member and say, listen, I'm the wrong guy, and here's why, and you guys got to look at that. So we do that now with our conviction integrity unit, and and that's something that I know my conviction integrity unit, other DA's offices have literally copied it verbatim from my policy. So those are things I'm very proud of that we did, and I didn't do them by myself. I had a lot of people in my office. There's been a lot. It's not Scott comes up with all these ideas himself. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people help me. People in my office, like Mike Calusa, Lori Lisi, Grant Garamone. I could go on and on. People that have left, like Kurt Hamline, and people like that have helped. So there's a lot of people that should get credit for that. Obviously I get it because I'm the elected dude, but it's a joint effort and it's a team effort. And that's what the DA's office is. It's a team effort. Like when we try a case, one person is the lead prosecutor, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, including the people that don't get a lot of attention, the administrative assistants that subpoena everybody, the victim witness coordinators that work with the victims. There's a lot that goes on that people don't see. And I've been a very, very fortunate man to be able to run that office for 14 and a half years, and hopefully I live 2.5 more to fill it out, because that's what my plan is.
All right.
And then I'll be rocking Central New York.
Rocking Central New York, 96.9 WOUR. Just always remember it's W, not W. I get so mad at the W's when I hear that on the radio. W. You didn't say W, though. You said W. Is there a difference between the two? I think there is.
Okay.
Scott, we appreciate it, and very honest. We learned a lot today, I think.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Thanks for having me on.